welfare of society. We beseech all as your servant, members of the public, blessings set upon us under our devotion. Peace, prosperity in our country, and of those
Thank you. This report presents the proceeding secretarial on agriculture, fisheries, livestock development and irrigation, and ICT regarding the consideration of the Kisumu County Agriculture Access Bill 2024. Referred as Kisumu County Assembly Bill number 4. 7th November 20. An audible to provide a framework for produce for the management, administration, enactment of legislation, finance of in Kisumu County. The relevant to views from the public and stakeholders. 6 November 4 County. Held committee equally invited exercise. Special appreciation is extended to Honorable Regina Kisito, the sponsor of the bill, for her unwavering commitment and constructive contribution during our deliberations. We also acknowledge the members of the public, key stakeholders, such Kibos Sugar Company and Chemelil Sugar Company, for graciously and generously giving their inputs on the bill. My sincere gratitude also goes to the CSCMs for finance and ICT and agriculture, fisheries, livestock development, and irrigation for giving deeper insights on bill. My sincere thanks go to the members of the Joint Committee for their dedication and meaningful contributions, and to the Secretariat for their meticulous planning and preparation. Speakers and honorable members, within this report, we have outlined our findings and observations that we believe should be considered by this Honorable House while approving this bill. Honorable Speaker, it is now my humble pleasure to report that the Joint Committee has considered the Kisumu County Assembly Bill 2024 and has the honor to report back to the Kisumu County Assembly with recommendations that the bill be approved with amendments. And these are the rationale of the proposed amendments to the Kisumu County Assembly Bill 2024. And if you have the main report, you can refer to page 16 to page 18. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, this section presents a detailed rationale for the proposed amendments to the Kisumu County Assembly Bill 2024. The following table provides a summary of the rationale for the proposed amendments at committee. We have column 1, which is clause affected, and this is clause 2, under interpretation. And the actual amendment is that what was incited is that cess fund, cess management committee, designated point, inspector of loading fees, processing plant, and transit goods. And this is the rationale. It provides clarity and legal precision for core operational terms, closes gaps in administrative enforcement. Then again, we have clause 5 to 8. This falls again under inspectorate provisions. Here, clause 6, 7, and 8 was also inserted. Appointment, powers, code of conduct for inspectors. And the rationale here was professionalizes inspector role, establishes qualifications and ethics, enhances accountability and transparency. Under clause 6, clause 6, this one deals with designated points. Amendment to subclause 5, 6, new subclause 7 for audits, signage, and digital systems. And the rationale here was to align cess collection with Article 209, Part 5, which requires public consultation and transparency at collection points. Clause 7, which falls under utilization of cess. This one here, amendment was done. Subclause 1 replaced, subclause 2 amended to introduce 70% and 20% spending threshold. New subclauses 3 and 4 were also added. And the rationale here is to ensure revenue prioritization, M&E, and that's monitoring and evaluation, public validation, and infrastructure focus for sugar growing zones. Clause 8 is establishment of committee. And here, expanded membership to include civil society and private sector, gazette notification for appointments. And it improves inclusivity, legitimacy, and checks in cess oversight. Clause 9. These are the functions of committee. Expanded to include project approvals, monitoring and evaluation, and stakeholder forums, quorum and decision-making structure defined. And this one enhances committees' oversight and planning role, institutionalizes participatory budgeting. Clause 10, this is now says fund management. Subclause 2, 3, and 4 were inserted, and this one prohibits transfers, appoints finance administrator, mandates reporting. And this one is to align with the PFMA, introduces financial discipline and safeguards. Clause 11, regulations for the funds. And this one replaces general provision with specific scope and 6-month deadline. It clarifies regulatory obligations and ensures timely operationalization. Clause 12, general regulations, amended to require public consultation, county assembly approval, and detailed regulation scope. It enhances legal certainty, public participation, and accountability. Clause 13, waiver of cess, replaced with detailed criteria for waivers, limitation, and that is 10%, assembly oversight, appeal mechanism. This was just to guide you when to appeal and the procedure to follow during waiver. Prevents abuse, promotes fairness and financial integrity in waiver decisions. Clause 17, and this now offenses. New offenses, impersonating inspector, extortion or bribery by inspectors. protects revenue integrity, and deters misconduct. New clause, right of appeal. This was introduced. It was not there initially. Appeal process through County Revenue Board and CSC Finance. And this one will protect right to fair administrative action and offers remedy to aggrieved parties. Committee recommendations. This one you can refer to page 18 to 26 in the main report because I'm using moving notes. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, following a revised view of Kisumu County Assembly Bill by the Joint Committee and taking into account various submissions received from a diverse array of members of the public and stakeholders, the Joint Committee proposes adoption of the bill with the following critical amendments. List of amendments. The Kisumu County Assembly Bill 2024 is proposed for amendments as follows. Item 1, amendment to clause 2 by inciting new definition as follows. Agricultural produce means any product of agriculture specified in the schedule to this act or as may be prescribed by the CSC member in regulations. Cess fund means the Kisumu County Cess Fund established under Section 13 of this Act for the collection, management, and disbursement of cess revenues. Cess Management Committee means the committee established under Section 11 of this Act, responsible for the oversight and prioritization of cess-funded projects. Designated point means a location officially published by the County Executive Committee member as a cess collection or monitoring site under this Act. Inspector means a person appointed or designated by the County Executive Committee member or County Revenue Board and duly authorized in writing to monitor compliance with this Act at designated cess collection points, processing plants, or transit bearers, and includes an authorized officer assigned such duties. Offloading fees means charges levied by the county government for the delivery of goods to designated market points within the county, whether or not cess applies. Processing plant means any facility, factory, or premises where agricultural produce is handled, processed, or prepared for the market. Transit goods means agricultural goods passing through Kisumu County to a different destination outside the county without being offloaded or marketed within the county. Item number 2, amendment to clause 5 by adding new sections immediately after subclause 8 as follows. 6, appointment and qualification of the inspectors. The County Public Service Board may, in consultation with the County Executive Committee member responsible for finance, appoints inspectors to enforce the provisions of this Act. 2, a person shall be eligible for appointment as an inspector if the person, 1, A, holds at least a diploma in agriculture, law, or finance. And I repeat, if he or she holds at least a diploma in agriculture, law, or finance. Part B, has undergone training in revenue enforcement or regulatory compliance, and C, is of good character and integrity with no prior conviction or a tax-related or integrity offense. Number 3, the appointment of an inspector shall be gazetted and their identification and credentials shall be made publicly accessible. Number 7, powers and duties of inspectors. An inspector appointed under this Act shall have powers to A, inspect agricultural produce at the point. Okay, and this will be the duties and the responsibility of the inspector. A, inspect agricultural produce at designated points for compliance with set payment. B, require the production of relevant receipts, books, and documentation. C, issue compliance notices and demand payment or explanations for outstanding sales. And finally, enter any processing plant or sales collection point during working hours for inspection. 2, an inspector shall maintain an official log of inspections and findings. B, submit monthly reports to the sales management committee. And lastly, wear official identification during duty and act within legal bounds prescribed by this act. Number 8, code of conduct for inspectors. The county executive committee members shall develop a code of conduct for inspectors which shall A, define professional behavior and anti-corruption standards. B, prohibit arbitrary detention, harassment, or extortion of producers and traders. C, set out disciplinary procedures and penalties for breach of conduct. And 2 of part 8, the county executive committee members shall establish a complaint mechanism to receive grievances from producers, processors, and the public on misconduct by the inspectors, and shall initiate disciplinary proceedings against an inspector within 14 days or received or any substantiated complaint. Clause 3. Part 3, that is clause 6, part 5 of the bill is amended by deleting the entire provision and replacing therefore with the following. Part 5, any agricultural produce destined for final sale within Kisumu County but not produced within the county shall not be subject to cess but may be subjected to a separate offloading fee as prescribed by the Finance Act, provided that such fee shall not duplicate or substitute cess payable elsewhere under Article 209, Part 5 of the Constitution. 4. Clause 6, Part 6 of the bill is amended by deleting the entire provision and replacing therefore with the following. The county executive member shall, in consultation with the stakeholders and the sales management committee, determine and gazette the designated points for the collection of cess in the county. The notice shall include the location, operational hours, and responsible officers at each point. Clause 6 is further amended by introducing new subclause immediately after clause 6 as follows. The county government shall ensure that all designated points are equipped with appropriate signage, digital receipts, record systems, and are subject to quarterly audits by the county internal audit unit. Number 8, any person aggrieved by a decision or action taken by an authorized officer at a designated point may lodge a complaint with the sales management committee or appeal to the county revenue board, whose decision shall be communicated within 7 days. Amendment in clause 7, and that is utilization of cess. Clause 7, part 1 is amended by deleting subclause 1 and replacing therefore with the following. The proceeds of says shall, subject to appropriation by the County Assembly, be applied to programs and projects identified in the County Integrated Development Plan, and count program-based budget related to the development of road infrastructure in crop-growing areas. Clause 7, Part 2 is amended by introducing the words, at least 70% of sales proceeds shall be allocated to rural access road maintenance and infrastructure within the sugar-growing areas, and not more than 20% shall be applied to agricultural extension and research services. Immediately after the words, without prejudice to the generality of the provision of subsection 1. Clause 7, Part 2 is amended by deleting subclause A, B, C, D, E, H, I, K, M, and N. And this one you can check from the main report. Clause 7 is further amended by introducing a new subclause 3, 4 as follows. The CSM members shall publish and disseminate a report of proposed CES-funded projects and convene annual stakeholder forums for validation before impact report to the County Assembly and the establishment of the CES Management Committee. Here, clause 8 was deleted and substituted therefore as follows. Establishment of the CES Management Committee. There shall be established a committee to be known as the Kisumu County CES Management Committee. 2, the committee shall be composed of the following members. And honorable members, kindly listen carefully. Members will be in this committee. A, the County Executive Committee member responsible for agriculture, who shall be the chairperson. B, the chief officer responsible for finance. C, the chief officer responsible for infrastructure. D, 2 representatives from an association of sugar millers within the county. E, 2 representatives from an association of sugarcane farmers within the county. F, the chief officer responsible for agriculture, who shall be the secretary to the committee and an ex-officio member. G, 1 representative from Kenya Sugar Board, appointed by the board, who shall be a non-voting technical advisor on sugar-related matters. 3, the members referred to under subsection 2, D and E shall be appointed by the County Executive Committee member and shall serve for a term of 3 years, renewable once. The appointment of members under subsection 2D and E shall be by notice in the Gazette. Amendment to clause 9, functions and operations of the committee. And this one delete clause 9 and substitute therefore the following clause. Functions and operations of the committee. 1, the committee shall, part A, advise the County Executive Committee member on matters relating to the imposition, collection, management, and utilization of CES. B, receive, evaluate, prioritize proposals for funding under the CES fund. C, under development projects to the finance from the sales proceeds in accordance with this act and any applicable regulations, and shall forward such considerations to the county executive member and the county assembly for approval. D, oversee the implementation of approved projects and monitor financial utilization of sales funds. E, commission and review annual performance assessments on sales funded activities. F, facilitate and conduct annual stakeholder forums for public participation. And lastly, submit an annual report to the county assembly on sales collection, disbursement, and impact at least 42 days upon the end of a fiscal year. Part 2, the committee shall meet at least once every 3 months and may convene special meetings as may be necessary. 3, the quorum for the meeting of the committee shall be 5 members, at least one of whom shall be from among the representatives specified under subsection 2, 2C, D, or E, or section 8. 4, the decisions of the committee shall be by consensus or, where necessary, by a majority of the members present and voting, and the chairperson shall have a casting vote in the event of a tie. 5, the committee shall establish and maintain a grievance redress mechanism to address complaints or petitions from stakeholders concerning decisions or omissions relating to the utilization of sales. Clause 10 of the bill is amended by adding a new subclause immediately after clause 1 as follows. 2, the fund shall be used exclusively for the purpose outlined in this act, and no transfers shall be made to other accounts or programs without approval of the county assembly through a supplementary appropriation. 3, the county executive committee member for finance and economic planning shall designate a fund administrator from among public officers in the county treasury, who shall be responsible for the day-to-day operations of the fund in accordance with the requirements of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. 4, the fund administrator shall prepare and submit to the county executive committee member for finance and economic planning an annual financial statement and report on the performance of the fund and tabled before the county assembly within 3 months after the end of the financial year. Clause 11, and this is regulations for the fund, is here amended by deleting the provisions and replacing therefore with the following provisions. 11, the county executive committee member for financial and economic planning shall, within 6 months of the commencement of this act, publish regulations for the proper management and administration of the fund, including A, the role and appointment of the fund administrator, B, the manner and forms for sales declaration and payment, C, procedures and forms for sales waiver applications and approvals, D, disbursement criteria and sellings of the fund, E, fund accounting procedures and reporting templates, F, procedures for public access to fund performance data. Clause 12 is amended by deleting the entire provision and replacing therefore with the following, and this is now general regulations. 12 part 1, the county executive committee member shall, within 6 months of commencement of this act, make regulations for the effective implementation of this act. 2, without prejudice, the generality of subsection 1, the regulation shall provide for A, record keeping and reporting formats by processing plants and inspectors. B, the format for publication and validation of CES-funded projects. C, procedure appointments of the representatives of Association of Sugar Millers and Farmers, contemplated in Section 8, Part 2D and E. D, inspection procedures, enforcement protocols, and penalties for non-compliance. And E, public participation, stakeholder engagement, and grievance redress mechanisms. 3, the regulation made under this section shall be subjected to public consultation and shall be submitted to the County Assembly for approval in accordance with the County Government Act of 2012. Clause 13 is amended by deleting the entire provision and replacing therefore with the following. And this one deals with the waiver of cess. One, the County Executive Committee member may, upon the recommendation of the cess Management Committee and subject to approval of the County Executive Committee, waive cess payable under this Act in whole or in part for a specific class of persons, products, or producers where A, the persons or producers have suffered a loss or damage due to natural disasters, pest or disease outbreaks, or climatic shocks. B, the agricultural produce in question is subject to sudden market failure or depressed prices that would significantly disadvantage smallholder farmers. C, the waiver promotes a recovery and resilience in declared emergency or disaster affected area. D, the waiver supports the realization of public interest objectives such as food security, poverty alleviation, or disease control. Or E, the cess due is uneconomical to collect relative to its administrative cost. Part 2, where a waiver is also applicable. However, under this section shall be for a period not exceeding 1 year. Apply only to the category of cess or produce specified in the Gazette notice and not be granted retrospectively unless approved by the County Assembly. 3, the CEC member shall, upon granting a waiver, A, prepare a justification report including supporting evidence, estimated revenue foregone, and impact assessment. B, publish the waiver notice set and on the county government website. And C, table the justification report for the County Assembly within 14 days. 4, the County Assembly may, within 30 days or of tabling, resolve to annul the waiver if it finds that sufficient justification has not been provided, and the waiver shall stand revoked upon such resolution. The total annual value of cess waived under this section shall not exceed 10% of the total cess collected in the previous financial year, unless a supplementary budget authorizing a higher threshold is approved by the County Assembly. 6, any person aggrieved by exclusion from a waiver granted under this section may apply to, I think this one should be, it should be appeal instead of apply, may appeal to the cess Management Committee for administrative review within 14 days of the publication of the waiver list. Clause 17 and offenses is amended by introducing new paragraphs immediately after paragraph E as follows. Impersonate an inspector or authorized officer for purposes of extorting cess or other unlawful benefit. G, being an inspector demands or receives any unauthorized fee or bribe in the course of duty, shall be liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 500,000 shillings or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or both. Amend bill by introducing a new clause immediately after clause 18 as follows. Right of appeal against the decision of an inspector. That is 19, part 1. A person aggrieved by the conduct or a decision of an inspector may appeal to the Cess Management Committee within 14 days of the act of omission. 2. The appeal shall be heard and determined within 21 days. 3. A person dissatisfied with the decision of the Cess Management Committee may appeal to the County Revenue Board for review. Amendment of the schedule as follows. Delete all the agricultural crops provided for in the schedule except sugarcane. Sagam, I don't know this one. I don't know which crop is this, but maybe you can Google. I think it is it has been misspelled. It's supposed to be sorghum. Okay, allow me to proceed. I'm sorry for that. It is a scientific name for sugarcane. I'm proud this house. Okay. Conclusion. The proposed amendments presented in this report present a refined and strengthened version of the Kisumu County Assembly Bill 2024, shaped by legitimate public concerns and expert stakeholder engagement. I would like to implore this House to deliberate and consider adopting this report and ensure that the recommendations contained herein are made part of the bill for enactment. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, I therefore move the motion and call upon Honorable Benny Oiko Pete to second. Thank you.
Honorable members, now that the motion adoption of the report of the Joint Committee of Finance, ICT, Agriculture, Fisheries, Livestock Development, and Education of the Kisumu County Assembly 2024 have been moved, seconded. I want now propose question. And I propose that the motion adoption of the report of the Joint Committee of Finance and ICT and the Committee of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Livestock Development and Irrigation on the Kisumu County Assembly 2024 is open for debate. Yes, Honorable Zachary Okoyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to pick something from the mover first before I contribute. So allow me to just pick a document from her, then I come and contribute. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Pamela. Honorable Pamela of Migosi Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the bill that has been just read. The bill is an important bill for Kisumu County.
Honorable Pamela, this is a report of public participation on the bill.
Yeah, I want to support the report of the public participation of the bill. Mr. Speaker, I'm a member of Agriculture Committee, and I was part of the report writing of the public participation bill. And I want to congratulate the sponsor of the bill, Honorable Regina, for bringing this bill. I want to say it is an important bill for us, for this county, because it is going to increase our revenue. Now, I don't know, I'm hearing our sugar belts have been privatized. So I don't know whether the bill is still, will still help us, how it is going to help the national government or the private investors. I want to say it was an important bill because it was going to open the sugar belt areas. Through the cess, they were going to use the money to improve the roads, the well-being of the sugar belt region. And I want to say the bill was brought in the right time. The bill is going to give us more revenue and it will add value to this county. I want to support.
Komudo.
Many thanks.
Ikoru.
Many thanks, Honorable Speaker. Again, much thanks to my honorable colleagues in the House. This afternoon, I'm privileged to contribute to this very noble report by the joint committees on finance and agriculture towards the elaboration of the public participation on the bill presently on process, as presented my wardmate, my colleague, Mheshimiwa or Honorable Regina Kizito. As I stand here, Honorable Speaker, together with the members, I am the real victim and the real casualty of whatever is moving on. And any of my colleagues coming from the sugar belt areas, I will tell you that the process here would have been done a number of years ago. However, let's get to thank the Almighty God for the time that it is coming up. I have also heard the expressions of my colleague inquiring on the possibilities of what is currently going on. I want to believe that whatever could be taking place, Honorable Speaker, is all to do with the leasing process, and neither is it anything to do with the relocation of those institutions or those factories. And therefore, I want to believe that the process shall continue uninterrupted. It is very true that for a very long time, the factories coming from the areas that we represent, specifically Muroni Sugar and also Chemelil, not forgetting about Kibos, and all others that come from the sugar belt areas, have been tremendously contributing to the economy of the county government of Kisumu, but little is there to be shown. Honorable Speaker, this thing has made life for some of us, and especially myself here. I am talking about myself in Moroni down there. It has become almost impossible for me even to make a stop within the town center of Moroni. The roads there are terrible. The roads in Moroni is pathetic. The situation, the road network in Moroni is terrible. Honorable Speaker, if you had asked me, this thing would have passed, the bill would have been passed like yesterday. I therefore thank the community, the committees involved, that they get to fasten the process so that the matter herein could get the attention, and probably we may see some 2 or 3 months before my exit in my first term. Of course, I'll be coming back by 4. Yes. It would be some good exit as the road now take place. As we stand here, Honorable Speaker, I would sincerely tell you that even the MUSCO themselves, now facing the new management, I am talking specifically about the MUSCO in my area, together with the other organizations like the agrochemicals and even the Homeline. I have tried on a number of occasions to approach these guys to assist me with the poor road network in my ward. And I would tell you that I'm facing a lot of hostilities from the heads of those organizations. The other day, I had a conversation with the MD Homeline company, Mr. Stephen Brooks, and you would have listened to the conversation. It was not one of those interesting. They have ended up losing that organization because they say the economy is too bad, and I should be the last person to talk to them about anything to do with the poor road network, as they pay a lot of money in terms of cess. My efforts took me again to MUSCO itself, and they told me, your guys are always here collecting money about the cess thing. You must be somebody who is totally ignorant to come and talk about the poor road network here. My other journey took me to West Valley. And remember, Honorable Speaker, when I speak about West Valley, I am talking out of the boundaries. West Valley is not even in Moroni Core Ward. West Valley is in Kericho. Well, thanks to Almighty God, I hear from somewhere they are now coming in, and probably they will land in, and of course, they will also reason that we give the cess amount to the county government. Honorable Speaker, together with my members, my fellow colleagues, it is too unfair. It is very unfair when you take some milk from some mother, a breastfeeding mother, and you don't feed their baby. You take it to go and feed some other babies somewhere, some ugly babies somewhere that we don't know about. Please feed the baby of that particular mother. Moroni has been producing sugar. They get the cess amount being deducted, or they pay, but the little or nothing that they get out of it. Honorable Speaker, it is my sincere prayers. And as a strong Catholic, I am going to pray this evening again as well. I prayed in the morning. I am praying now. I will pray in the evening that this bill goes through and we see the light at the end of the channel. Many, many thanks, Honorable Speaker, and many, many thanks to my fellow colleagues.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to first start by thanking the 2 committees who have come up with a very credible report that I foresee is going to help us going forward. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy because this report is coming at a time that in North Nyakach, we have also started developing farms that are soon producing sugarcane in a very due course, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is true that the existing legal framework that pertains to the cess collection in this county have been lacking clear guidelines on as far as utilization and management of cess funds are supposed to be done, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it has been in such a way that the collection of cess, whether collected from Moroni or Chemelil or any other sugar company, is taken to the CRF account. Again, that requires just arbitrary, what we call appropriation to be put into use. So in as much as you see the infrastructure from those sugarcane planting areas is getting deteriorated, then there is very little that we can be able to do, even though they are giving, they're paying and we are collecting those cess, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this report is now giving us a lot of hope. because the amendments, if you look at certain amendments that they are put inside, is actually going to give meat to the county Cess Bill 2024 to make it much more friendlier and professional in the way that we are going to be working on this area of cess collection and the utilization. Mr. Speaker, it is true that from the report, the intention of even the amendments as it is being brought seeks to address legal and definitional gaps that sometimes we might also require going forward, that we are supposed to be very much clear, particularly in the collection of cess. Mr. Speaker, it will also enhance transparency and fairness in cess enforcement. Mr. Speaker, this is so practical, as has been elaborated by my brother, Mr. Komodo. You find that even the different companies, the sugar companies, they complain as an individual that you see, we are collecting more, the other companies are maybe collecting less, we collect more cess, and nothing is being done. Mr. Speaker, this bill that we are talking about is going to address such fairness going forward. Mr. Speaker, also something that we have also seen is the unprofessionalism of Revenue Inspectorate. This bill, as it is going to see the light, the way I'm going to see is going to introduce professionalism in the inspectorate that we are going to be using for cess collections. These are people that must be trained properly. They must be people that are able to correlate well with the factory owners there, plus the people who are using those particular infrastructure in those regions. Mr. Speaker, something of interest is when I read in the same report, the amendment to clause 10. Now, part of that amendment is seeking to put the fund to its exclusive use for the purposes intended in the Act, and that no transfer shall be made to other accounts or programs without the approval of the County Assembly. Mr. Speaker, this is also going to make us know exactly the amount of cess that has been collected should just go for the intentions and the intended purposes that this cess was collected. Not just, we don't just collect them, we get the report, we have gotten this much, but when it comes to the use, then they are used for something else, or maybe used to build certain ECDs in areas that don't even, plant sugarcane or such kind of items. Mr. Speaker, I therefore call upon my fellow members that for us to bring a change to this particular, Supreme County of the County of Kisumu, let us support this report and hope to see the bill come through. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to support.
As Honorable Benny Pete. Honorable Benny Pete.
Honorable Daddy with the microphone, but I'm coming.
I didn't see him standing. It's you I noticed. Or he sent you. I hope it's not, he doesn't want to go away with the microphone. Yes, Honorable Daddy.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in supporting this bill. And most importantly, I have to appreciate Honorable Regina Kizito for thinking wise to bring this bill for us. Mr. Speaker, it is true, sugar belt areas where the sugarcane is being grown, we have really suffered. The roads within our sugar belt areas are very pathetic, to an extent that you cannot even talk where people are or where there is a gathering. Mr. Speaker, I believe that The report is good for the benefit of the people of sugar belt areas, and it will transform the roads within our areas. Mr. Speaker, my last point, I want to appreciate the governor of Kisumu, who was very, very passionate about the people of Moroni during his time in the National Assembly. He was talking, he talked about the cess and the feeder roads within our areas. But it is very, very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that whatever he said during that time, he became the governor of Kisumu, but he never implemented them. I thought that he's going to implement, but he failed to implement whatever he said during that time. I can refer you, maybe somebody may stand on a point of order. If you look at answer number 7, date 7 August 2008, he talked about the sugar belt areas, the cess and the feeder roads within the sugar belt areas. And even encouraged Musikari Kombo, who was the minister by then, to send the technical teams to visit those areas and find out how they are. So I thought that when he came here, he will do the same. He sent the expert to the ground and do the same. Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the chairman, the Committee of Finance and Agriculture, that in Moroni, it is good you visited Chemelil, I was there, and Kibos, but you forget about West Valley. They are also collecting sugarcane within our areas, and West Valley and Trans Nzoia on the other side. They might not cooperate, but I know they are cooperating. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Benny.
Mr. Speaker, this is a public participation report on the cess bill that is going to help Kisumu County government to have a further revenue stream to improve on their financial collection for the benefit of its people. And it is important that this is a private bill brought by the member of the county assembly to help the county government collect more funds. What a wonderful effort, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this matter of cess bill has been a thorny issue in this government, and I hope with this bill coming to an act, we are going to cure the mischief that has been there. As has been echoed by Honorable Komudo, that the factories claim they are emitting good money in the form of cess, and when you go to the Department of Finance, they would say cess is not being paid. And Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time this matter is being discussed in this House. It had been discussed, only that no one thought of coming up with a bill. But now where we have reached, we are going to cure the disease. And it is good that as the cess bill is becoming an act, the sugar factories have been leased to the private investors, and we know that the private investors are business-oriented people. And this will give the Kisumu County government more funding, and the infrastructures in the sugar belt will be improved. And when you read the reports from the wards, there is a ward that is Masogo Nyangoma, where members of the public complained that there was no need for this cess bill because they know the money will not be forthcoming. But I hope with the enactment of this bill, they will see the benefit of the effort put by their MCAs, because to some extent, this was a collective effort of the MCAs for Muroni. And when you also look at this report, Mr. Speaker, members of the public are also asking that we should not end at the sugar. The sugar says we should go further to other crops that are being produced in Kisumu County. Only that those other crops like watermelon, they are mentioned here. We have no factory manufacturing watermelon. And Mr. Speaker, this is a good step in the management of finances of Kisumu County. And as we move ahead, we hope it will be a good example when we see how useful the cess from sugarcane is helping the sugar belt. We shall follow suit to other areas where there are other crops being produced. I beg to support the report, and I hope when it becomes an act, Kisumu County government and its people will benefit from the collection of this resource. Thank you.
Honorable Geoffrey Warindu, Miwani Ward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Let me also add my voice on the report from the public participation concerning the cess bill. And right from the onset, let me make it clear that it's not that the county government of Kisumu has not been working on the roads from the sugar belt areas. It's only that the resources that have been there has been so limited to even cater for the feeder roads that were being maintained by the millers when the millers and the farmers were handling the cess money. But since the inception of the county government, when the county government started handling the cess money, the feeder roads from the sugar belt areas were neglected. And I want to believe that the reason why most of our people were really on us and on our neck, that we need to find out how cess money is being utilized in our regions. And I'm happy from the reports that almost 70% of what will be collected from the cess money will be ring-fenced to go back to the sugar belt areas. And I believe this is going to change the perception of our people that the county government is not working on our feeder roads. And I want to believe that the noises that have been made, you know, all the funerals, all the gatherings that we've been attending will come to an end because of the idea that was initiated by Honorable Regina Kisitu. Thank you so much, the initiator, and I want to believe that we are going to see the fruits of this cess bill and all our feeder roads. And this one will, on all our feeder roads, and I want to believe that this will also encourage those who had left the sugarcane farming because of the poor roads to come back and start farming again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the report.
Honorable Moses Ochele.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I also echo my voice in support of the report on the Kisumu County SES bill. Most of the report, which contains the concerns, the input of our electorates, more so those who come from the sugar growing areas. Mr. Speaker, before I proceed, let me take a special opportunity to echo one of us, a young lady, a young legislature, who took it upon herself to ensure that sanity be brought into the sales collection. That is none other than my colleague, Honorable Regina Kisito, who saw it upon herself to be selfless, burned midnight oils, consulted widely, and came up with a very serious and elaborate draft, which I believe will form part of the first member-sponsored bill in this third assembly. I congratulate her very much, and may you continue working hard for the betterment of Kisumu County at large. Mr. Speaker, I also come from sugar growing ward. Almost 40% of the land in my ward is covered by sugarcane, and 20% is covered by rice. And that will mean that as Honorable Komudo cries as he does, I also share with him the grief and the pain of the bad and the depleted roads in these wards. Mr. Speaker, there is one thing which is worth noting, that most of these sugar growing wards are very large in size. And for one road to be done, Mr. Speaker, the minimum kilometer of a road, a stretch of road, you can't find a road less than 4 kilometers. And most of them are 4 and above, going even up to 20 kilometers. So, Mr. Speaker, we are not complaining that the county government from the CRF has not been assisting, but the assist from the CRF is not adequate because of the vast nature of the roads within these wards, Mr. Speaker. So I'm praying that alongside the CRF, this sales fund will kind of supplement what we have from the CRF so that at the end of the day, we have some reasonable coverage of road network in these areas. And Mr. Speaker, one thing worth noting is that when we form committees, I know many people will propose committees even to the ward levels, down to the very regions of the factories. When the committees are too much, Mr. Speaker, they'll be eating into this revenue, and at the end of the day, very small percentage of this revenue will be actually